Moments with Mo, brought to you by Zenith Bank.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, tonight on Moments with Mo we'll share with you timeless tips on how to get the girl or guy of your dreams. It's all about relationships on Girl Talk.
And we're joined by Adora, Fox News correspondent and the host of Project Fame West Africa and the Adora Ole Show, and Toke Makinwa, a multimedia personality. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
But first, let's take a look at this.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Toke Moment. My name is Toke Makinwa. This week, let me break it down to you. We are stepping up the vlog. We have to talk about something very important. Are you taking your notepad and your pens out already? Because you have to. Because I will be sharing with you 5 tips on how to get married Naija style. Marriage is no longer something you leave to time and chance. There's nothing like a boy meets girl, girl meets boy, they start to chat, they fall in love, and then along the line they decide to get married. Now, fire for fire. You have to plan. It's something that you plan strategically. Marriage is how you are seen as somebody in this society. Marriage is how you are duly respected. If you're not married, there's no hope for you. Why are you sitting there and just looking at me? You can't leave it by chance. 30 is knocking at the door. If you've crossed 30, even worse. You know what I mean? This is where we share with ourselves those tips that if you implement, girl, before the end of this video, you will be cooked and ready. The next man you meet will be your husband, because I said so.
Ladies, I love those clips. Welcome to Moments with Mo. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you very much for having us.
I'm so excited about having you guys here.
It's so good to have you guys to kind of as a variety show.
You know, it's so weird to watch myself. I think I really do that.
Yes, I did.
Cuckoo.
So, how are you guys doing? So, Adora, just tell us a bit about Adora Ole Show, Fox News. How's everything going with you?
It's kind of been a busy time. So, I've recently launched my 2nd season of my talk show, The Adora Ole Show, which I'm very excited about. And I thank goodness for Project Fame West Africa is still continuing. It is my 5th season,
wow.
You know,
well
like
done.
hosting that show. Thank you so much. So, yeah, that's also going very well. And sort of more recently, I have been doing some entertainment corresponding for Fox News in America, which I'm very excited. So before coming back, I was actually standing outside the Lindo wing, waiting for Kate Middleton to drop her baby, you know, with that, you know, the world's press, which is very exciting. So, it's been kind of good, busy and good. No complaints.
And so everyone loves busy.
You know, we love radio, TV, and we have to say we love your vlog. You know, so how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. The vlog started as, you know, I believe that people, this is what we're doing here, Girl Talk.
Yeah.
People talk, you talk with your girlfriends, even guys do that with your, you know, with your guy friends. And, you know, there's not that platform that lets people know that you're not loony when you have those thoughts of, oh my God, I'm 35, I'm not married, is there something wrong with me? So, you know, it stems from a place where I think that if people are more vocal about these things, then you know, it's all right. It's okay to wonder about these things. It's all right to want something so bad, you know, but it's good. It's been busy, the radio keeps me grounded, and also hosting a couple of TV shows here and there, which is good.
Fantastic. So, Toke, we've seen a clip of your vlog, and you just touched on marriage, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, because I have a few things to say about age, women, and marriage, of course. We'll be right back after this.
The police guy will pull you over and say good afternoon, because he doesn't know who you're married to.
Very true.
Now, when you're a single girl, it's like, wind down that glass, girl.
Dedicated to people, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back. It's Girl Talk, and we're talking about relationships. So, now, You mentioned marriage, and last year sometime I went to a store and I saw this book, and I tried to go back to get it, but it's not there. And on the cover it said, this is about women, early 20s, this is Bolanle, right?
Okay.
Full price. Mid 20s, half price. Late 20s, final clearance. So does that mean that when you're 30, you are expired?
Well, according to the book, it would sound so.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about the fact that it's like you have a label depending on how old you are?
Well,
So
I'm only
they
21, so whatever. So I'm
Okay, I couldn't disclose my age, but they're kind of trying to tell me that,
that you're
my
like
time has
final
passed.
clearance.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I you know, when I read that book,
Yeah.
I think it's called The Mrs. Club.
Okay, Mrs. Club, yeah.
And when I read the book, it made me laugh through the pages, and exactly what you said, it highlights the fact that, you know, when you're in your early 20s, it's almost like you're fresh on the scene, and guys can't get enough of you.
Yeah. Bolanle, is
And
that
then-
what's happening to you?
Be
Fresh on the
honest,
scene?
Bolanle.
No, I don't think so. I think because I think it depends on whether or not they know your age and whether or not, for example, like now, if people saw all four of us, we all look like we're in the same exact age group.
Really?
No,
Thank
we
you,
do.
sweetie. But can I just get some clarification, because I've not heard of this book,
Yeah.
and can I just get some background on it? So who is the author? An African woman? And is it sort
I
of...
don't remember.
It's
you know.
definitely, well, I think it's a woman.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I
it's a
think
woman.
she's Nigerian.
I think
Okay.
she was Nigerian because it
Yeah.
was set around 4 different women. One of them was married,
Yes.
and the other one was like the high-class chick
Yeah.
who
Right.
thinks, I don't need a man, I'm not going to get married at any point in time. And there was one who, kind of like Sex and the City, the Charlotte who just wanted to get
Get married, yeah.
I've been dating since I've been 16. When is he going to come?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just centered around their day-to-day life, their jobs, and the M word, which is the marriage word. And if we would be honest with ourselves, we realize that society puts so much pressure
Definitely.
on that whole marriage thing.
Definitely,
You
yeah.
know, people don't really think about the whole package, Adora.
Yeah.
People just think, well, once I get married, which is what I was talking about during the vlog, it was supposed to be like a satire,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. Because, you know, I'm sick and tired of aunties asking me, when is it going to happen? You know, when you're carrying blonde hair like this with a man marrying you, and you're wearing eyelash like this, you know, and to be honest, don't laugh, because it's so
It's so
serious.
serious.
Well, it's a generation
so
thing.
serious.
Who
Yes.
in their right mind thinks like that
No,
now?
but
I
people
kind of
do.
regard
No,
us
people
equal
do.
to- No, hold on.
People do.
We're modern
It
women.
filters
We're
down.
modern women. I kind of feel that amongst our peers and age group, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Who thinks like
Well,
that?
Adora,
some
can
people
I
will
say
tell
something?
you they
Yeah.
don't think like
Yeah.
that, but
But
they do.
inside
Can I say
they
something
do.
to you, Adora? For what you just said right now, there's someone who's watching this show and thinking, yeah, look at her, modern woman.
Yeah.
This is what they think.
It's true.
Yeah.
It
They
is
think that
actually
this, they think
very
that
true.
Even last month, I mean, I obey the law, traffic laws, please, thank you very much. But I realized that sometimes when police guys pull you over in Nigeria, the way they address you is different
It's
when you've got a
different,
ring
yes.
on.
It's
Try it.
completely
Look,
different.
let
You don't know who
me
you're
tell you
married to.
something. My friend, there's 2 girls, they're sisters, right? One is about 5 years older,
Yeah.
and one is about my age. And the old one isn't married. And the younger one is married and has kids and has been married for years. And she gets more respect because she's married and had kids than her older sister who's 5 years older. Because they're just like, what's this
Once
one
you
doing?
have a ring on your finger, you are
It's-
the
yeah.
respect level is
I kid you
completely
not, the
different.
police guy will pull you over and say good afternoon, ma'am, because he doesn't know who you're married to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
Now, when you're a
Very
single
true.
girl, it's like, wind down that glass,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Why are you driving on a one-way road?
Yeah.
You know, they just disrespect you. Even in offices, I was in banking. Before I started working in the entertainment industry, I worked at the bank, and I will tell you this. My colleagues who were married, when we're having that MPR meeting, they're hammering everybody.
Yeah.
But the way they speak to them is different. They just say you appear on every newspaper, you don't bring money into the bank. They just want you. Husband, you don't have this, you don't have
Yeah.
this. You know, so it's a society, it's the things we accept for ourselves as well. Because let's be honest, people have sold this idea of once you get married, your problems are over.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
And for
think
some
it's a
people, once you
very-
get married,
like,
your
your
problems are
problems
just
just start.
beginning.
They're just starting.
If you
Yeah.
get
It's a very
married for the
antiquated
wrong
way
Well,
of
you know
thinking.
why,
That's the
though,
thing as
Dolapo?
well.
Because people do not marry thinking marriage.
People don't think about the marriage, they think about the
Yes, they just
wedding.
think about the wedding,
It's all about
and they
getting
think
to that
about the
wedding day.
acceptance. You know, when I get married, then I can be accepted. So they're not really thinking.
But the
as
thing
far
is,
as you are.
when people do get married, they are accepted, though.
They are
They are
accepted.
accepted.
And it's also a lot of
people take
pressure.
you more seriously.
Really?
Who
Yes,
takes you
people
more
do take.
seriously?
Okay, for example,
Who
now,
takes you more
I mean,
seriously?
It also depends
okay.
on where you're working as well, in what sector.
Yeah.
But people will take it. They'll say, "Oh, they will look at a man and say, if you have wife and kids, you're a more serious person
Yeah,
and
I
willing to
agree with
invest
that.
Because
in you."
basically,
It
your
happens.
husband validates you as a person, whereas
And
without a husband, you're not validated.
I think that's why, you know, I say to a lot of
Dora's
young-
like,
a lot-
I'm just
yeah.
freaking out. I mean, this is really, this
let me
is
say
really
this,
worrying.
yeah.
Because the thing is as well, sorry to cut you through. You have a lot of young women that are watching maybe that are younger than us as well. And then, you know, they're putting all these pressures on them. These are the
Yeah.
ideals that, oh, you know, I need validation, I need this.
Acceptance,
We
I need-
acceptance,
yeah.
validation, all these kind of crazy words that associate with marriage. I'm quite traditional and quite romantic, if you like. Boy must meet girl. Girl must fall in love with boy, vice versa, and you need to make it work. And you need to pray to recognize the right man or woman for you. It's not just, you know, adhering to all these ideals. Oh, Adora, when you get it, because I mean, I get pressure too. But I'm not going to sort of like settle. It's important that we have to realize as young women that you do have choices as well. And may I even say, it's not just about, you know, being in a Nigerian society. You know what I mean? Don't just limit yourself to a particular society and a particular pressure and ideal. There's men out there. It's a world. It's not just Nigeria. There's a whole world. That means there are a lot of men.
But I think the pressure starts from a very early age, because every time I go home and my aunts come to the house, my aunt comes into my room and she says, so how is the husband?
Have you met
and I
somebody?
look at her and I'm like, Auntie, what?
It's
I'm like, you do realize you just started working,
You know,
right?
Are you seeing someone?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I have crazy aunties who are not even related via bloodline. Just aunties that you know in Nigeria, they just become your aunties. It's as far as them telling, just bring the names, let's go and pray. We choose one on the list. You know, they now start saying, what you just said right now, oh, I wish you could say it's in front of some of them. That's all bullocks. People have problems. Marry, just marry one. If you like, marry yellow, black, this. A man is a man. He's going to cheat on you. He's going to abuse you. He's going to be a loser. He's going to do this. So just, you know, which is why a lot of women now get that ideal and think to themselves, afterwards, marriage is just let me just marry. When I get in there,
do you guys have friends? Because I have some friends that obviously I can't name, but they're married and they just look so freaking miserable. And it's like, well, hold on, you wanted to get married, you had a fabulous fancy wedding, we all went to, you know, Europe for your hen night, and then you got married. And all she does is look so miserable. It's like, oh, hey, it's like...
Can I say something to you, though, Adora? I haven't found one married woman who hasn't told me, take your time, Toke. There's no rush.
Even men. I haven't.
But she's not going to say that. Do you know why?
They say that when they're married. And then I'm like, oh, please. You know, is it that? What's really the problem? You know, I've not found one married woman that says, take your time.
No, my friends tell me that, though. They always say, I could have waited.
Yeah, just wait. Just wait,
I could have waited.
Look well.
But is it a case of the grass is always greener? You're married, you want to be single, you want to be married. What is it?
It could be, but I actually also, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it comes from the fact that the pressure and the rushing into it, and just kind of not, personally, I think prayer is really important when you're trying to get married.
Definitely.
Because it's like, if you think you're going to get married and you're getting married based on an emotion of, ooh, he touches me and I have goosebumps, you're going to get in trouble.
Is that going to be happening in 10 years' time? Really? Do you know what I mean?
You have 4 kids running around and you're trying to pay mortgage and you're trying to do that. Like, that's not going to sustain.
You also check the reality as well in terms of the figures. Sorry, a lot of people are getting divorced as well. A lot of young Nigerian couples are getting divorced as well.
I mean, the older generations, that didn't happen.
Well, I know what. You know what? I actually did some research as to that, and you know what I came up with? I think that because our parents give us that sort of advice because in their time, most of them were matchmade. Most of them were. And, you know, the women back, you know, onward, I know we're all modern now and we have jobs and we're very vocal about it, but let's think 30, 20 years back, women were literally just, you know, relegated to the kitchen and just be childbearing to just give birth. So even when they married men that they weren't in love with, love was something that grew. They marry and then they grow to love the person. If you flip the coin, it's safe because it's exactly what Balanle just said. It's not a case of, he makes my tummy flutter and I'm just going to die right now. You know, it's a case of love growing and you get to know the person. Now, in our generation, I think because we have a choice, women are a bit more modern. We go to school, we have the jobs, and, you know, people just don't think they have to take it. You know, half the things our parents went through, if we're honest with ourselves, most of our mothers will tell you, it's just my children that kept me in this marriage. Even not for you guys, I know where I would be right now. Some of them gave up dreams. Dreams of wanting to be a secretary, dreams of wanting to do this. They gave that up to raise all of us. And then you have a young girl like you, regardless of your age, you're like, boy, you know how you have to wake up. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be on the radio. And one man wants to be telling,
you boy, like my friend, I don't have time.
You know, so it might be bad. But the truth is, men also need to understand that you're not getting married to someone like your mother. That era is gone.
It's over.
She has a
But you know what they
forever.
say, but you know what they say? They say that men do want to marry their mothers. But on that note, enough about marriage. We have to take a break and we'll be right back.
So when you're 21 and you're doing he has prospects, so he's a graduate, you finally get a job one day. By all means, give him 3 years. If that prospects has not finalized,
Then you're saying,
girl,
jog on.
you better jog on. It might not come to pass.
dedicated to people, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back. This is Girls Talk, and we're saying it as it is, no holding back. But we're still here with Adora and Toke. But before we continue, let's hear what people on the streets have to say.
For me, I think 27 upwards. I think probably at that time, you'll be working and through with school and all that. So I think at that age, you'll be able to take care of yourself and someone else.
I would just say it's when you are comfortable. And when you're matured, oftentimes when people hear comfortable, they will think it's when you have money and all of that. But I think marriage really, there's no universal age. But then for both partners, they have to be emotionally, psychologically, and maybe financially up to a certain level ready for that.
Well, I don't really think that is an ideal age, but I think it all depends on maturity and your readiness to carry the responsibility.
I believe maturity is not in age, it's in the mind. So if you find a lady who is mature at 22, I guess she's good to go. She's good to get married.
It's interesting when they were asking about the age of marriage, they actually said maturity. I was quite shocked. I suppose the guys were younger as well. I thought they'd say, 20.
Yeah.
But the thing with guys, though, is that I realised that with guys, it's very different. I mean, we're girls, they're guys, and we can't ignore the difference. Guys, once a guy is, got a good job, is making the money, being financially stable, then they begin to think about it. Which is where we girls make that mistake, okay? Because, some girls believe that because I've been with this guy for so long, and we dated for like 11, 12, 13 years, he's going to marry me. And the guy is sitting there, it's almost like a game of chess. Mini, many, mo. Okay, I'm ready now. Who is available?
Who is available?
It's not the years you spent with them, it's I'm ready, I'm financially stable, I want to get married.
You're not actually grooming your guy that you've been with for 10, 13 years.
For somebody else.
Well, I taught you everything, and then you went and married her, and now you're the best husband, and I taught you everything.
I know that I'm not gonna. I don't want to say guys are wimps, but guys can be wimps. Like, for example, if I know this one guy who was like that he was dating her for a year, but after the third month of dating her, he actually wanted to break up with her then, but he waited for her to break up with him. So he started acting a fool.
But that's what they always do.
But guys are not, you might have a guy that's 20, so he's actually, minus 5 years of that age. That's his real maturity age. So obviously as women, we mature a lot faster anyway. So, we're always 5 years ahead in the maturity stakes. So there's one lady on the video that said, if a girl is 22 and she's mature, it's in her mind, she's good to go. No, she's not good to go. Because your emotional development always develops as a woman. Sometimes at 22, your body isn't speaking to you about, I want to become a mother. Maybe at 29 or so on and so forth. So we have every 4 years we also change as well emotionally and physically as women. So I don't think it's just kind of in the mind.
I just think that loads of women need to realize what we just said, in the sense that do it for you. Do it when you're ready. Do it when you think you know. Do it when you think you understand what it is. Because if that guy says to you, I'm ready now and I just want to get married, and you're not, you shouldn't get married, because in a year you might be looking for a way out. And I'm sorry, girls who marry at 22, I'm sorry, you haven't lived.
You haven't grown up.
You haven't grown up. You're missing something. And and marriage changes you. Regardless, people say, what if he's not the kind of guy that cages me? Love. Don't even go there with me.
Okay, guys, we have to move on. We could talk about marriage for all eternity. But okay, still slightly on the subject of marriage, would you date, we're trying to get married for money or somebody with prospects?
Money and someone with prospects.
Someone who's already like loaded, or you see the prospects. I mean, like if you're living in London, are you a bus pass kind of chick? You and your guy ride or die. You take the bus together. Are you waiting for him to come and swoop you up in his Bentley to take you to Nobu restaurant?
My friends and I always talk about this because I lived in the States for some time, and actually a lot of my friends are getting married. I have about 2 friends who are gotten. I'm 24, so one is 23, the other one is 25. So they're getting married, and when you're living in the States, I think it's easier to get married. If you're gonna,
easier in what way?
Easier economically. So, for example, like if you're going to be getting married there, you can just get a job, you pay your rent, food is easier, you have water provided for you, you have electricity. Whereas if you're going to get married in Nigeria, you have to think ahead. So for example, you have to have money to pay your rent, sometimes 1 year, 2 years up front. Once you have kids, school fees are expensive. Whereas in the States, you know, school is free. So I think that in the States, it's kind of easier to kind of do, oh, we're bus passing, we're making it happen. Whereas in Nigeria, you have to be like, so what is the plan financially?
I agree with you, because I was born and raised in the UK, and that sounds very similar. You can kind of do ride or die, you know what I mean? You kind of get a little house and then build together. Whereas if you want to settle in Nigeria, for example, you need to see what's on the table before you take that plunge to kind of start a relationship.
And I find out that loads of ladies are kind of shy and do not really come out to speak about it. You know, I was listening to a T.D. Jakes sermon, and he did say it in the sermon. You know, as a woman, you have a right to ask the guy, oh brother, where are you taking me to?
Where are you taking me?
What is your vision?
What's your vision?
But I don't want him to think I'm in it for the money. Love, money is important.
It's not about...
Money is really... A lot of marriages have broken up because there is money.
But I think it's different though as well in terms of age groups. So if you're in your early 20s, so maybe 18 to 23, I think it's normal to do ride or die. I don't like to hear of a young girl who is like 18 dating a 35-year-old. It's not natural. Date your peers, grow up, know yourself.
Grow together.
Also to bring some sort of balance, because you've been there, you've done the love, ride and die there. You've been with someone who didn't have, and then, you know, the thing with prospects, as Dolapo asked, is lately the lines are very blurred. I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that?
Because it's... Let's be at 29, whoever I'm dating, your prospects should have actualized at least.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
That is very,
and
very
the reason I think
true.
you're saying that is because all of us, we work hard.
Yes.
So obviously, I'll be honest with you, I'm making more money now than I was when I was 19 or 25. So I need somebody who not necessarily is making a lot more money, but we have to kind of...
see.
You have to see
if
the
it's a
level.
vision, let me see the foundation. You can't keep giving me promises. It's not going to work. You have to be able to be...
Certain things should have materialized.
Yes. So when you're 21 and you're doing he has prospects, so he's a graduate, he'll finally get a job one day. By all means, give him 3 years. If that prospects has not finalized,
then you're saying,
girl,
jog on.
You better jog on. It might not come to pass.
Okay, let's move on to the next point. Okay, so you're dating a guy for a few years and he buys you really expensive diamond earrings, diamond necklace, and then you guys break up. Would you return the jewelry?
No.
No.
I think
why would you return it?
Really? Do you know, I think if it's an engagement ring, I think it's like personally,
an engagement ring.
I would return the engagement ring.
But anything, it's a similar commitment.
Because I think if it was a very expensive engagement, personally speaking, I would return it because I really wouldn't want the reminder of what it symbolized anyway. I don't
But you
need
can
that.
sell it and make it into like a nice earring.
I think it's tacky. I think it's the polite thing to do. But if he's buying you diamond rings, watches, and all the little gifts that come with it in the relationship, but not the engagement ring, by all means, please, ladies, keep them. Yes, but everything else, like the engagement, give it back.
So it's okay, you would keep the engagement ring?
I love you, Adora, but it depends. I mean, I've been dating someone for so long. And
how long?
Well, we've known each other 8 years. We've dated, I've known him 11 years. And we've dated 8 years.
Okay.
Now, I should return the engagement ring.
No, okay. Wait.
All the work I've done.
You guys are engaged now, yeah?
Yeah, we are.
Look, finger.
I mean, all the work that I've done all those years, and I'll say must be crazy.
Okay, with respect though, like all the work you've done out of these years, you've got the ring, God forbid it doesn't work out, so you want to keep that to symbolize all
make
the
it
work
into
that
a nice earring. I'm going to forget that I ever dated the guy.
Wow.
Honey, if you're watching this, yes, that's what I would do. Just so you know.
What would you do?
I would return it because actually I would definitely return it because I was dating this guy and he had bought some stuff for me and I couldn't keep it. I actually wanted to throw it away. Like it was that dramatic. So I would return it because it's just, it's too much. It's too much pressure.
Okay. All right.
What would you do?
The ring I would return. The stuff, I keep it. I keep it. Okay, so if you see your friend's guy cheating, will you tell her?
No.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you something. I always said yes. First of all, it depends on the friend.
Yeah.
Because I've been in a situation where I have told someone and we don't speak anymore.
Wow.
And I was shocked.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it because I thought I'm trying to help you, but it's a case of shooting the message. And I never thought, I just never thought it would happen. And I've had friends tell me that they wouldn't tell me for that reason. Like some of my friends say, I won't tell you. I'm just telling you now. I will not tell you.
So
don't get angry. Like that's what people say.
Can I tell you why I wouldn't tell the person? I'm the sort of friend that would walk up to the guy and tell the guy off.
What do you do?
Yeah, you know, because basically I think it's more disrespecting me if I'm sitting in a place and my friends are married, or this friend of mine is married, and the guy is bold enough to cheat. So I would think it's a direct disrespect to me, because is it because I'm not married? Do you not think you can do this? So I would tell the guy off now, because they're married. As you said, you know, even my own sister.
But no, I didn't say they were married. In the case, the people weren't married, but married or not married.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, Dolapo, what is between a man and a woman?
That's their own.
It's very, very funny. Under the covers, they would make up, and then some women are not mature enough. Like I tell my friends, I'm mature enough. If you tell me I saw this guy this, I'm not going to tell him, and he can testify to it. Times when people have said things about him, I haven't told him the person. I've just said, you know, as long as there's enough proof and it's not just some flimsy. I've said, you know, you were doing this and you were doing that. I don't have to say that to the person, because we're all human beings. Regardless of how he knows that she has my best interest at heart, once she comes around to visit, he's not going to be, I mean, he can fake smile to her to welcome her, but deep down, he's not going to look at her as one of the friends that he wants to have in his life. And it's really, really weird to have your man and your friends at loggerheads. It's a situation like
it never works out. I want to hear your response, but we're going to take a quick break, okay? All right, we'll be right back after this.
Well, you know what, if I'm sleeping with you, you're sleeping with me, and that's it.
You cheat on me because you're insecure about something about your life, not mine. You know, but I will be honest with you, things would never be the same again.
Dedicated to people, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Welcome back, and we're still here with Toke and Adora talking about, well, everything ladies, men, relationships. So before the break, we're talking about if your friend's guy is cheating on her, you find out or you see him, would you tell her?
Yeah.
So, Adora,
I mean,
what do you
Tokes made a very good point, but before the break, you also made a very good point about, you know, it depends on the friendship for a start, and depends on the friend. And I think that I would do it in two folds. So if I see my friend's guy cheating on someone and I'm there, I'm like, listen, you've been warned for a start, and I want to put the fear into him that I will tell my friend, your girlfriend, if you keep this up. So that's a warning, first of all. I'll give you a little warning. If it persists, I would like to think that I would tell her, and I'll tell you why, because as women and a society, we're all of Nigerian origin, we take enough already. It's kind of a thing where we need to kind of support each other and have each other's back. We're talking about marriage, and we're talking about, oh, you know, like our ancestors, our mothers, our grandmothers, what they had to endure. We don't have to really endure it anymore. It's like, I would like it if, Tokes, you were out, you saw my guy, tell me. Tell me.
But then that's you.
But yes, I know. I'm talking personally for myself because, you know, we're talking about the importance of marriage, and maybe she really wants that diamond ring. She really wants to, you know, be engaged and getting married. They've been together 3 years. So it does depend on the friend that you're telling.
But can I ask you a question, Adora?
Yes.
Now, with the whole telling you wanting me to tell you, are you going to leave the guy?
I need to know.
It's just good to know.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that.
I don't know what I would do, but I need the choice. No one wants to be a fool. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to be like, I mean, you're at home, he's in the club. Nobody needs that.
But can I tell you why I'm saying that?
If she
because she said something, we're all of Nigerian descent, and I realized that many of these women, once you tell them, because you're not going to leave the guy, they start to act differently towards you. Like because they think you're silently judging them. A lot of women think you're silently for staying, so they don't want you to know so much about their marriage, because we've been told by mothers, hey, marriage won't suffer you, you know, which is you don't tell people what goes on in your marriage. You don't tell, if your husband should slap you, you tell you fell down the staircase. You don't, you know, that's what they have trained a lot of Nigerian women to believe. So when you're telling someone and she's not going to leave the guy, she in her mind she knows you're looking up for her and she loves you forever. But then she's thinking, you know, now she cannot paint her relationship as wonderful to you anymore because
but no relationship is wonderful. So anyone that's trying to paint, oh, my husband is so fantastic, I'm thinking you're wishing, you're dreaming, you're a liar. I think knowledge is power, and I think that we're all of a certain age where we're mature enough to know that look, the grass is not green; it's the same grass. It still needs to be cut, watered, you know, treated, everything. So I think that knowledge is definitely power. You can do what you want, but I think I love you enough to tell you this is what I've seen. You can do what you want. I mean, it's your life. But I think also secretly your friend will love you and respect you and say, you know, at least she told me.
A certain type of friend.
They do respect you. They do respect you deep down.
Exactly.
They now begin to almost envy you, like, oh my God, I'm stuck here. But the thing is, they start to act differently towards you because they think you know too much.
But why
I don't know
sort
why,
of like,
but I just realized that's what.
But also, I wondered, why are we not accepting sort of like complete, you know, trust within a relationship? You know, people expect, oh, my boyfriend will cheat, my husband will cheat.
Why are you in
Why? There's certain cultures, for example, in Norway, it is taboo to cheat on your wife. There's certain cultures in the world that you just don't do that. But in African culture, it's like, well,
it is not
it's
taboo.
accepted. It's not taboo.
I had a Jewish friend say this to me. He goes, you know, I've been here working in Nigeria, and I really love it here. And I said, why? He goes, half the things my friends try here, I can't try it. My wife would change the locks, and I'm done. I would never see my kids again.
Right.
You know, so Nigeria, it actually spoils this man.
I think socioeconomic status has a lot to do with it. Like in terms of when the fact that the pressure we feel to stay with men. So it's like, if I leave my husband, how do I provide for my kids? How do I take care of all the needs that we have? So if someone is socioeconomically liberated, or they have enough, you know, money to sustain themselves, it's possible that they would be more likely to leave. But at the same time, the stigma of being a divorcee is also there.
Oh, forget stigma. That's why we should be training young girls that you can be independent and also be in a marriage and then work together. This should be the new education. It's not like, you know, relying on your husband to provide everything.
I agree, there should be new education, but
not having
the
any
majority of people, or the majority of mothers will still tell you, will still tell their kids, will still tell their daughters that you get married, he's going to do this, you deal with it. You don't tell anyone. You move on.
You know,
you are now married to your. Have you heard that you're married to your kids?
Yes.
It's
I have to
and
agree
your
with
kids.
Dolapo here, and I do have to say this for people that are watching this and who are stuck in those situations. It's a lie. You know, it's unfortunate. We love our parents. We love our parents' parents. We love, you know, the generation to come. They've sold us this sense of it's wrong. I know someone who's died from it. I used to work in a bank, and
was it like domestic violence?
No, it wasn't domestic, but she was just sad inside, and she died. You know, she was the happiest person at the workplace. She walks to you every morning, air kisses, how are you? But no one knew until she died that this was what she was going through. Because, you know, family members have told you, even your sister should not know. They tell you, don't tell anyone. And that's why when you see your married friends, I did a video once about, you know, the married woman syndrome. You tend to think they've changed. You know, people say married girls change once they marry because now they think we're not on the same level. It's a lie. These women got in there, they've seen what it is. Sometimes they don't know if you know, because as they're sitting at home, as Adora said, their husbands are hurrying around, for lack of a better word, in the nightclub. And of course, you might be out there seeing them and you think, she might know, does she know, does she not know? So it's like you're running through doors and you're in a, these women are half mad. You know, it's almost madness. You know, you can't talk to anybody because you think, oh, they all paint pictures, my marriage is fantastic.
I think that thing is, no relationship is easy.
Perfect.
And no relationship is great all the time. But I think the worst thing is teaching people to not speak about it. Because, like you said, the woman that died, even if things aren't going well, to be able to speak and express yourself will help you.
Exactly.
The fact that if you feel you can't talk to anyone, even forget about relationships, just about any problems at work, problems with your friends, not being able to talk will eat you alive.
And it's just about using wisdom to know who to speak to. Because there's some people who you really shouldn't speak to, but there's some people who give you wisdom.
And will tell you. The thing is, you might even figure out that, you know, another friend is in the same boat. Because you're thinking, your marriage is perfect, mine is terrible. Look, they should be telling you, oh boy, I'm going through the same thing.
Well done to all the married women who encourage single girls. I've got married friends who do not judge. They literally tell you, we have nights out where we play games, and it says, oh, yours did that. Well, girl, you haven't seen anything. Have you seen one man? So it almost encourages you as a single girl that if I marry, I know I have friends that can say, hey girl, this is what happened, is it strange? And they'll tell you, don't act foolish, don't do this, do that, sleep over it, don't text back, do this. And then you realize that your relationship is in a better place. If you have friends who are so stuck up, saying, your husband does that. Well, my husband just paid, you know, tickets for us to just go to Geneva and we're just going to have a lovely time. How are you supposed to tell them that your husband is...
And on a basic level as well, if you are intimate with a guy, I think it is very normal to expect that he is only intimate with you and demand that as well. That's also something that we should also be accepting and you know, and not accepting like, well, you know what, if I'm sleeping with you, you're sleeping with me, and that's it.
So, okay, what about the point where whether you're dating or married, let's say dating, and I've heard stories of, oh, he was bad, so he bought me a new Chanel bag. He was bad, so he did this. So
What does
the
that
girl is
mean?
justifying
So he's
him buying her
compensating-
stuff.
Do you know
He's
what I
buying
say
back.
to that? To everyone, your own. If that helps you to deal
You know,
with
they
the
say
pain
that
better.
there are different ways to say sorry. And one of the ways is actually by spending money.
I don't think so. I
don't think
No,
so.
I know.
I
agree
wish I'd
with
actually
it.
looked at the title of the book.
Yeah.
But they say there are different sorry languages.
Kobe
One of
Bryant
it-
kinda
and one of
sorry.
it,
Kobe
you
Bryant,
know,
didn't
new
he put
canary
her
diamond
mom
rings.
in a new house,
Yeah,
did all
People,
sorts of things.
Yeah.
and some women are okay. The thing is, we cannot actually judge those women and
Which is
say
why I said
it is
to each
wrong.
its own.
But there are some
That's
women
why I
that will
sometimes
say,
said-
"Oh, he bought me a Birkin, so
you know
it's
what I mean?
okay."
It's like
What?
a Birkin will
Adora-
not cover certain
It's
verbal
let
abuse.
me tell you
for
what it is
example.
for me. Is
You know, it
you can
doesn't-
spend all that money, but
Yeah.
the truth is, Kobe Bryant's wife can be watching this for like, he did what
I
he
hope
did.
she
The
is.
trust is broken. You're never going to be the same again. Trust me, I'm not someone who's I've been with someone that long. People always say things like, "Why you guys not? Why are you with him after all these years? And why hasn't he married?" It's not always been a smooth sail. I can say that on national TV because I'm real and I'm honest enough to help other women know that there have been times when he's hurt me. There have been times when I thought, you know, I could do better than this. What am I even doing here? And there's also been times when you know who the person is, and you probably know he's probably going through something of its own. And I had to learn that it had nothing to do with me. You cheat on me because you're insecure about something about your life, not mine. You know, but I will be honest with you, things would never be the same again.
That's
So
why
it
we
be
need
you
marriage
buy me Birkin.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
You know,
Marriage
buy,
counselling.
and I think that a lot of them should open up more
Definitely.
here in Nigeria. A lot of marriage counselling, relationship, because
But
people
there's
need
a
it.
taboo to go
People
talk to
need
people about
it.
your
People
problems.
Well,
need
that's the
it.
thing.
It's like
it's
seeing
the
you're
education.
mentally
It's,
unstable.
you know, a Birkin, it does. You can buy
It
me a
does-
car. I
yeah,
mean, well,
do
okay,
for
you
me.
can buy me a Maserati. I might
But even in
that.
that,
Yeah.
but even in that, Adora, all I'm saying is you can dress up, look yourself in the mirror, holding the Birkin bag, getting into the Ferrari or whatever,
And you
still
still
feel
cry.
it.
And you still be
you still
crying.
feel it because you're a human
Yeah.
being.
I think
You've
the
been
point is
hurt.
we have to learn to come together as a couple, and you've got to talk things out. And
And
also, if you're
accept.
sorry,
Yeah.
act sorry.
Act-
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
That's
also,
two
I mean, we
things.
have to quickly wrap up, but before we go, I just need to ask one more thing. Would you go through your guy's phone?
I've done this.
See the way you just
Everyone
grind
has.
your
I've done this.
To be honest, I will say this because I did a video about say to snoop or not to snoop, and I say snoop. Okay,
I know.
and
Why?
I'll tell you why I
Because,
say snoop. A lot of people come up with the whole, you know, why is
Why
the
you
lack
looking
of
for
trust.
something that's
And I
not
will
there?
tell you this, please, girl. Do you
Are
understand?
you okay? First of all, are you snooping because you have an inkling that something's going on, or are you just snooping for snooping's
To
sake?
snoop, you must have an inkling that something is going on. Now, those women
Okay.
who just snoop for snooping's sake, is either maybe you just want to know what the guy. I mean, I don't know what woman snoops for snooping's sake.
sake. That's
You know,
weird. That's
there's,
okay.
you know, some people snoop because you know maybe the relationship is it's been going on for so long.
Yeah.
You don't know where the
Like,
guy is
what's-
at, and you want to find out what the guy's
I think
thinking.
if you snoop for snooping's sake, that's a lack of trust.
But the
thing is,
but
it-
if you
sorry.
suspect, I think you should check.
But hold on, if you suspect and that he's doing nothing, so if you suspect and you're snooping, then you're snooping for snooping's sake, and he's
Just
not
don't
doing
get
anything,
caught.
then you're insecure.
No, when you get caught, then it's, you know, being insecure. When you don't, it's just being smart.
No, because the thing is, what if you're
Okay,
just
so but then
paranoid?
if you find out you're insecure,
What if you're just
then you need to
paranoid?
check yourself. But then what if there's something there, then you're like, good, I now know.
No, but then, can I just say something? But if you, no matter who you are, if you go looking for something, you will find something.
Why should you find something?
Something you can I'm telling you, you can misinterpret. I don't believe in the
This is the
snooping
problem.
thing.
This is the
Honestly
problem with our
speaking,
text.
I
I
just-
just,
we need- no, you
I
know
don't
what,
believe
now.
in the
But
snooping thing.
we
I
need to
just
go to lunch and
don't-
talk about the snooping
You
thing.
know, the
You know
snooping
what,
thing,
people-
because I believe if you look for something, you will find
You'll find it.
something.
Sorry.
You know,
You will I am telling
My-
you.
I think
you
the
will find
standard that I
something,
have-
and you will
I
be
think the
asking, what is
standard-
this? And the thing is, there can be a reasonable explanation, and then you still won't even be satisfied.
What
'cause you would think,
explanation? But like,
is he
for
lying?
example,
Is
now,
he this?
what
Is
is
he
it that you find that there's a better explanation for?
Yeah. Once a woman knows her man is cheating, she knows. There's something that
No, of
lets
course,
you know.
that's a different conversation. But just the snooping for snooping's sake,
Then
and then
you
maybe
snoop
even
after.
starting.
No, I'm not
You know what I
snooping
mean? And then
for snooping's
starting
sake.
the
Not snooping
whole
for snooping's
culture,
sake.
it's going to drive you mad, and you started it yourself.
Ladies,
Not snooping for snooping's sake.
You
But
know,
that's for snooping's
I
sake,
really,
if you
really
feel
wish
something.
we could go on, but unfortunately we are out of time. I have to say to our African brothers, we do love you, because I hope this hasn't come across as a bashing session. You know, because Toka even said a woman can have a baby for another man and be in a husband's house for 10 years. So
We're
men
not
cheat,
bashing
women
guys.
cheat.
We're
You know
just,
what I mean?
you know,
Exactly.
exploring the
But
topic.
honestly, I have to say Toke, Adora.
Yeah,
it
thanks
has been,
for coming. It was
we've
so
had
much fun.
so
It was really
much
good.
fun.
Thank you guys for having
amazing
us.
time.
Thank you.
And please come back again for some more.
We'll have to do this again. So.
Yeah, not enough time.
I know, right?
There's more to discuss.
And I love the fact that Bolani and I, we kind of like vibe. You know, Adora and I like you guys.
We'll stick with the not snooping. We'll stick with the not snooping.
Don't worry, when it happens, just let me know. I'll take you out to the
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Moments with Mo was brought to you by Zenith Bank.